And pleads guilty to lying to the FBI. What is he saying now and how it involves another White House official with a close relationship to the president?
And high-profile sexual harassment cases have many asking what is acceptable behavior in the workplace. CitrusTV reporter Sabrina Maggiore speaks with experts on the cultural change.
So when will the first snowstorm come in Syracuse? I'll let you know in my full weather forecast. Your campus news leader Citrus TV starts right now.
Now, Citrus TV News live at 6 starts with breaking news.
New tonight, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn pleads guilty to lying to the FBI about his conversations with Russia's U.S. ambassador. And Flynn is saying President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner is the one who told him to contact Russian officials. Good evening, I'm Rebekah Castor.
And I'm Josh Rosenblatt. In a statement, Flynn says he accepts full responsibility of his actions and is cooperating with investigators.
Let's go to Talking Points correspondent Jack Watson with a further look into Flynn's guilty plea.
Thanks, Rebekah and Josh. Former U.S. National Security Advisor Michael Flynn has pled guilty to one count of lying to FBI investigators. Flynn is the first Trump administration official to be charged in special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into possible collusion between Russia and Trump's campaign team to influence the outcome of the 2016 presidential election. As part of the plea deal, Flynn admitted that a senior member of Trump's transition team directed him to contact Russian officials last December. NBC says that person is Jared Kushner. A White House lawyer said nothing about Flynn's guilty plea implicates anyone other than Mr. Flynn. According to a prosecutor, Flynn contacted a senior Trump official in Mar-a-Lago after the Obama administration, in its last days, implemented sanctions against Russia. Immediately after, according to a court document, Flynn called the Russian ambassador and requested that Russia not escalate the situation. Then the Russian ambassador called Flynn to tell him that Russia chose not to retaliate in response to Flynn's request. Flynn resigned his post as National Security Advisor in February after allegedly misleading Vice President Mike Pence regarding Flynn's conversations with the Russian ambassador.
So, Jack, how is Michael Flynn's guilty plea going to affect the rest of Trump's administration?
Well, the plea, it doesn't really mean much unless Flynn gives names and events and situations to the Mueller investigation. That's really what's going to come out of this.
What's next for the investigation?
Well, that really depends on what Flynn gives them. If Flynn testifies to give them a wide range of different names and people and events, that's going to end up being very, very dangerous for the Trump administration, I would say.
Thanks, Jack. The Me Too campaign is sweeping the nation as more and more women are coming forward with their stories of sexual assault. Today's show anchor Matt Lauer is the latest national figure to be fired over sexual harassment allegations. The scandals have people questioning what behavior is acceptable in the workplace. CitrusTV reporter Sabrina Maggiore takes an in-depth look at sexual harassment in work environments.
Thanks, Josh. I spoke to professors of newspaper and online journalism and the director of the Office of Health Promotion here at SU to explore whether media attention is affecting norms regarding workplace harassment.
Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey, Bill O'Reilly, and now Matt Lauer. Powerful men who have been taken down by a recent series of sexual harassment allegations. Now more than ever, media coverage of these allegations have thrust the issue into the national spotlight. Victims feel empowered to speak out, and the controversy has sparked the questioning of sexual harassment norms in the workplace.
And in all of these, conversations that are happening as a result of the media attention, I think is really encouraging some really proactive dialogue.
With campaigns like Me Too exploding onto the social media scene, women and men have shared their personal stories of harassment. The efforts have led experts, politicians, and academics to conclude that we may be experiencing a moment that could lead to positive social change.
The more that a larger community can come forward and really, support folks who have, been affected by sexual harassment or sexual violence, I think the better.
The movement has led to some companies taking a second glance at their harassment policies.
There's a huge amount of liability for a company to know about a sexual harasser in their ranks and not act on it. It transfers some of the responsibility for that wrongful behavior from the actor from the bad actor themselves to the larger organization.
Rapid dismissals suggest that organizations are no longer turning a blind eye.
The warning is out there, the knowledge is out there, and these organizations, I think, know that both legally and more broadly with their reputations, that they can't ignore their culpability.
Well, Sabrina, something like this happened back in the 90s. What makes this different?
Yeah, so back in the 90s, we saw Anita Hill testify against then Supreme Court nominee Clarence Thomas. And at the time, she basically said that he sexually harassed her. And we saw a similar idea happen here. There was a lot of conversations about this. There was a dialogue that was sparked, but it's not exactly the same, especially now with social media and all of the attention we see as a result of sexual harassment allegations today.
So how do we know if history will actually be changed by this?
So I actually asked Professor Munner that same question. I think there's a soundbite of him giving his answer.
All right.
In terms of broader ripples, I mean, this is the first draft of history, and I think it's a little bit dangerous to extrapolate where this moment in history is going to lead us 5 or 10 years.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. An NBC Dateline episode will air tonight on the poisoning death of a local chiropractor, Mary Yoder. Caitlin Conley, an employee of Yoder's and also her son's former girlfriend, was charged with first-degree manslaughter for killing Yoder earlier this month during a second trial. The first trial ended in a hung jury. Yoder died from poison consumption in July 2015, but Conley wasn't charged until nearly a year later. The 2-hour episode will focus on the evidence that led them to the unlikely suspect. It airs at 9 on NBC. Former Whitman Dean Kent Kavaiak has pleaded guilty in his connection to a prostitution sting in March 2016. According to Kavaiak's attorney, he pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of attempting to patronize a prostitute. In exchange, he received a 1-year conditional discharge. Kavaiak was removed from his position at SU following his initial arrest.
Right now, the campus community is exercising for a good cause. For a second year, Spin and Give is raising funds and collecting donations for Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital and the Food Bank of Central New York. Citrus TV's Anna Azallion is at Archibald Gymnasium.
Thanks, guys. For the second time, the Spin and Give event is happening right now here in Archibald Gym. With this event, Syracuse students and community members are working out to make a difference. The event is 4 hours long and consists of 45-minute workout classes. With each class participants sign up for, they're asked to bring a donation that benefits Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital and the CNY Food Bank. Now, there's a full-body boot camp class happening right behind me here. There's also yoga and spin classes. The organizer of the event teaches one of the spin classes and said she created the event because she wanted to make a difference in the Syracuse area. Anna Azallion, Citrus TV News.
Thanks, Anna. Looks like a great event. A favorite holiday tradition begins this weekend. The Everson Museum's 32nd Festival of Trees features uniquely decorated trees and wreaths. All the trees were donated and up for sale, and all proceeds go towards the museum. The exhibit is open late this evening until 9 p.m., and the exhibit is open until December 10th. Continuing with the holiday spirit, this weekend Hendricks Chapels hosts its annual holiday concert. Hear classic holiday songs from SU's brass ensemble, Hendricks Chapel Choir, and more. To celebrate the season of giving, volunteers will be collecting non-perishable food items. The concert is free for students and doors open at 6:30, and performances start at 7:30.
Let's check in with David Edelstein for your first look at the weather outside. David?
The weather outside, it is getting darker out as the sun continues to set earlier as we get closer and closer to winter. Happy December. Right now, 38 degrees outside. Across the area, though, we can see Rochester high at 40. The rest just in the high 30s, 38 in Syracuse and 36 up in Rome. Across the area, winds, just a little bit of breeze. And as you can see with the radar, just some cloud cover. Pretty clear outside, no precipitation. We'll take a look back at more of this later.
Coming up, a not guilty verdict in a San Francisco murder case has President Trump speaking out on immigration.
And Pope Francis finally uses the one word he did not say while visiting Myanmar, why human rights activists are applauding him. Stay tuned.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You're watching Citrus TV News with Rebekah Castor, Josh Rosenblatt, and David Edelstein with weather. Citrus TV News continues now.
A guilty verdict has been reached in a San Francisco murder case that was used by President Trump to push tighter immigration law.
Jurors found undocumented migrant Jose Inez Garcia Zarate guilty of being a felon in possession of a firearm, but acquitted him of murder and manslaughter charges in the 2015 shooting death of American Kate Steinle. Federal officials say they will now try to deport the Mexican citizen.
Garcia Zarate has been deported from the U.S. 5 times before this shooting. President Trump used the case to push back against sanctuary cities. In a tweet, Trump called the ruling disgraceful.
The latest on the GOP tax reform bill. After a closed-door meeting with Republican senators, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he has secured 3 more yes votes for the bill.
Documents reveal Republicans made changes to the bill to win enough votes. Changes include higher local property tax deductions and larger breaks for businesses. The Joint Committee on Taxation found the tax bill would add $1.2 trillion to the national debt. Enrollment for Obamacare could drop significantly following the Trump administration's decision to cut the enrollment period by over a month. Enrollment will now end on December 15th instead of the end of January.
700,000 more people have signed up for Obamacare in 2017 compared to this time last year, but some fear consumers will be unaware of the shorter cutoff and fail to enroll. The fate of Obamacare under the Trump presidency is still unclear.
For the first time on his tour of Asia, Pope Francis mentions the Rohingya people by name. It's a controversial move as the UN accuses the Myanmar government of carrying out ethnic cleansing against the minority group.
During a service in Bangladesh, the Pope said the Presence of God is also called Rohingya. Afterwards, the Pope met with Rohingya refugees. More than 600,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled to Bangladesh due to the alleged genocide of their people.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
This Sunday's full moon is the biggest and brightest of the year. It's the only full supermoon of 2017.
So what would the weather be like for viewing the moon this Sunday? Let's check in with David Edelstein with your full weather forecast.
Well, that's right, there is a super moon, but unfortunately, like we were saying a few minutes ago, it is a little bit cloudy outside in the Syracuse and central New York area. These clouds move across, but you might be able to see it through some peaking spots through the clouds. Tomorrow, though, when you wake up, 34 degrees, it's still going to be cloudy outside. The sunrise is a little bit later again, 7:17 in the morning, but tomorrow, the high, 44 degrees, the low is 29. Happy December once again. Still will be a little bit sunny out, though, some clouds in the ways. Winds will still be calm, and then throughout the day, 8 a.m. if you're an early riser, 32 degrees, getting to 41 at noon, 43 there, the high 44, and then 8 p.m. 36. The clouds are kind of clearing out by 8 p.m. It will be a little bit less cloudy by the time the moon is out once again. And when you take a look over here at this graph, it's December, so looking at the first week of December's normal temperatures compared to the ones expected to see in this first week of December 2017, a little bit higher than usual, getting up to 54 degrees here. Meanwhile, throughout the week, The temperatures in December are typically around 40 degrees, then going down to 39. At the end, it will be a little bit colder in Syracuse this year than it has been normally. But when you take a look at the 5-day forecast, you see that cloudy a little bit throughout the week. Some rain coming in on Tuesday, but that's also when it gets a little bit warmer. Some sun will be peeking out the rest of the time, but there will be clouds throughout the week.
All right, David, so it's December now. Love December. When can we see snow on the way?
Yeah, so we actually saw the 5-day forecast, and as we take a look at it again, you'll see, add on one more day, and there's some snow on Thursday. So just within the first week of December, some snow will come lake effect right off of the lake here into the central New York area.
All right, thanks, David. I'm looking forward to it. Today is World AIDS Day. Health officials are remembering those who died from the disease and raising awareness for those currently suffering.
Tesla broke a world record in Australia, powering a large portion of the country along the way. Find out what was constructed and whether more projects are coming soon.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
Today marks the first day of December, and while everyone is excited to start the holidays, World Health officials are asking people to take a second to look at their health. Today is World AIDS Day, which promotes knowing your status and getting tested. According to HIV.gov, more than 1 million people in the U.S. are HIV positive. The CDC says 1 in 7 people are positive but don't know it. This year's theme is increasing impact through transparency, accountability, and partnerships.
Batteries may be sold separately in the U.S. for children's toys this holiday season, but Australia has a different approach. The country is now utilizing the world's largest battery to provide power to over 30,000 homes. Tesla CEO Elon Musk constructed the battery, making good on his bold wager to complete the project in 100 days. The battery is 3 times more powerful than any other battery on Earth. Musk hopes that this is a first step towards similar energy projects around the world.
General Motors is joining the race to make self-driving cars, and they plan to be ready by 2019. The company promises they will be mass-producing self-driving electronic cars by then. These will be used for a new ride-sharing service the automaker is also creating. GM says ride-sharing could potentially become bigger than their current business.
After a shocking turn of events, people had to actually talk to each other last night. The WhatsApp messaging app went down in the UK, Europe, and South America. The issues lasted for more than a whopping half an hour. The app is the biggest messaging service globally and rarely has outages. Everything is now back to normal, but it is not yet known what caused the problem.
Hershey is unveiling a brand new candy bar for the first time in over 20 years. Starting today, you can unwrap Hershey's Gold Bar, the company's response to the popularity of crunchy candy. The main ingredient is caramelized cream, giving it its amber color. Other ingredients include peanuts and pretzels, but no chocolate. Hershey's is hoping it will join your holiday plans this year.
Coming up, a member of the Syracuse basketball team has left the program right before the team's showdown with number 2 Kansas. I'll tell you who. Plus, women's basketball looks to remain perfect against Northwestern. All that and more on the other side of the break.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees?
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome to sports. I'm Nick Dugan. Breaking news this afternoon as Gino Thorpe, a graduate transfer for the Syracuse men's basketball team, has left the program for personal reasons. Earlier today, the team issued a tweet very simply saying, quote, graduate student Gino Thorpe has left the Syracuse men's basketball program for personal reasons. Thorpe played previously at Penn State and more recently with South Florida last season. The Pittsburgh native led the Bulls in points, assists, and steals and minutes, And this season with the Orange, Thorpe has missed some time in the preseason due to an ankle injury. In his 6 contests in the Dome, he averaged just 6 points in over 14 minutes per game and played a season-low 4 minutes against Maryland on Monday. But Thorpe or no Thorpe, SU still faces its most daunting test of the young season on Saturday. Second-ranked Kansas awaits Jim Boeheim and company in Miami, where the two will play for the final game of the Hoop Hall Miami Invitational. The biggest challenge for the Orange could be slowing down this Jayhawks offense, which averages 94.5 points per game. The biggest question, however, heading into this one, how healthy will sophomore Tyus Battle be? He was the team's leading scorer against the Terps earlier in the week with 18, despite his back being less than 100% after a hard fall against Toledo. On Monday, Battle said that a couple of days before the tough matchup will be just what he and the team needs.
Oh yeah, it definitely helps. Just understand what Kansas does and just rehab, continue to rehab and stuff like that, and I'll be ready to go against Kansas. Just rehabbing, still continuing to rehab, and just watching film on Kansas and getting ready for that.
And Orange Press Pass will have you covered once the final buzzer sounds right here on Channel 14.1. Hear from the players. Coach Jim Boeheim and our very own Christian de Guzman will be live from American Airlines Arena to wrap it all up. It all comes your way at 9:30. The math seems flawed. Coach Q and the SU women's basketball team lost its top 3 scorers from last season, including the ACC Player of the Year and all but 1 starter. This season, it's equaled a 6-0 start, including a sweep of the Paradise Jam last week. Northwestern was up next in the Big Ten ACC Challenge last night as the Orange looked to remain perfect. And Miranda Drummond warming up, getting loose early in this one, and she would get started quickly. Here in the first quarter, she hits from downtown, a little shooter's roll. SU up 5-2 just 2 minutes into this one, and then Tiana Manga Kahia inbounds to Jasmine Nawaje. She gets the layup to go. SU up 19-13, just a couple minutes left in the first. But Northwestern would keep it close, and it's because of Lindsey Pulliam. She hits a jumper there, and then at the buzzer at the half, how about a basket to put Northwestern up 36-34 going into the break, but too much Syracuse in the second half. Dinya Strautmane hits from deep, just one of her 2 field goals on the night. SU would not trail from that point on as the Orange outscore the Wildcats 33-29 in the second half to come away with the 81-74 victory. And in the inaugural National Invitational Volleyball Championship, Syracuse women's volleyball picked up a first-round victory over in-state rival Albany last night. After dropping a close first set, the Orange took the next 3. Santita Abangwase led the way with 13 kills and 6 blocks, while freshman Ella Sada had 11 kills and a team-high 24 digs. The Orange will play its second-round match tonight against Towson at 7 o'clock. And it's been a grueling start for the women's ice hockey team. 3 top-5 matchups in the first 10 games resulted in 2-7-1 start. Conference play has been comfortable for SU, however, as they have won 3 out of their last 4 against the CHA. It's Lindenwood at the Tennedy Ice Pavilion tonight. The Lions will look to snap a 4-game skid, but they'll have to do it against the best defense in the CHA. The Orange is giving up just 1.64 goals per game. Puck drop is at 7 p.m.
So, Nick, what do you think the chances are of Cuse being able to hang with Kansas tomorrow?
I think Syracuse might be able to hang tough early on. I think that their freshmen, especially their young guys, have shown some real prowess on the offensive end, but just too much Kansas in this one, as I mentioned, averaging nearly 100 points per game. I think that they're just going to really impose their will on a much younger and less experienced Syracuse team on Saturday.
Thanks, Nick. Citrus TV News. We'll be right back.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you've got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hey, Hard, what's this?
That's my resignation letter.
You're resigning.
Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit.
I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me.
Okay, but remember, it's not what you say, it's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Coming up on OTN, your full sports report on Cuse Countdown and your late night entertainment with Syracuse Unpeeled.
Man's best friend can do more than just play fetch. Vanderbilt University found that dogs have double the amount of neurons in a specific part of their brains. These cells are used for thought, planning, and behavior.
Scientists link the number of neurons with overall intelligence. Dogs have 530 million neurons, while cats only have 250 million. To put that in perspective, humans have 16 billion of them.
That's all for Citrus TV News. Thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure you check us out on Twitter at CitrusTV News.
And find details on these stories and more at CitrusTV.com. I'm Josh Rosenblatt.
And I'm Rebekah Castor. Have a great night, Syracuse.